stuff and watching and seeing what's happening from there. And so that's gonna be a big key too. That's gonna be a key with tomorrow afternoon and morning time for those of you that might be a little too cold to get out, maybe some grandparents. The other thing that's happening tomorrow, and I don't know if you guys, well, I may not can see because I can't see it on my screen, but I know they're working on it. We do have Super Bowl shirts. I'm trying to hold it up here that are made. So the front of the shirt talks about a Super Bowl, and the back has all the teams and their logos and stuff listed. Some of you guys had the opportunity to pre-order them through the Northwest site. If you haven't had a chance to pre-order them, we do have, man, we had a lot of pre-orders come in. We do have probably a couple of hundred left. Let me give you guys forewarning of this because last year we had this happen as well. Um, people these will sell out very, very quickly, and so please don't hate us if that does. If it sells out before your game, we tried to give we tried to give a little bit of a leadway time for people to pre-order those, and we did have hundreds of pre-orders that come in, so those will be ready to pick up tomorrow. But we have about 300 or so shirts left. We pre-made quite a bit of them to bring out with us tomorrow. And so, guys, I'll just tell you that, try to get out there early if you can, especially if you want a commemorative shirt. I mean, these things are really nice, if I say so myself, but the reality of it is it's going to commemorate the game. Oh, there we go. Now we got pictures. That's what I'm talking about here. See, now let me show the shirt here. So and you guys may could have seen it, but I want to see it for myself. So this is the front of the Super Bowl shirt here, the Northwest Texas, and then on the back, we've got all the teams that are being featured here, who's playing who. Great commemorative shirt for your youngster and for yourself. These are not cheaply made shirts, and I say that because as a shirt guy, it's really important to me that you don't get these cheap shirts. The brand is next level for anybody that wants to ask. That is what those are. See, there's my man Chris right there, 12U Wildcats representing. We got to talk about them. We got to talk about them here in a second. And there's Craigle on there, the Elks. Let's go, Jaden. Big game tomorrow. We've got SYA. Shout outs coming. So, guys, here's what we want to do in the show today. We're obviously going to talk about the playoff matchups. We're going to start with 5U, and we're going to go all the way through. But we want this to be about the kids and stuff that are playing in the Super Bowl. I would like to have as many names and positions of kids that are playing in the Super Bowl, and that's going to be from you guys shouting them out. Now, please, if I miss one, I will try to get back to it. Just keep putting it on there. But please make sure that we want to recognize these kids, what team they play for, and their name. Because, look, this has been a long year. I mean, July 15th.
I think we started practice on the 18th.
It's already starting, Mike. It just says, I want to know if Langford got his Big Red. I did not bring the Big Red. That is my fault. I will have it tomorrow. Listen, for all the teams that are going. So I got to say this. I got to say this. For all the teams that are going to be there tomorrow, I love every weekend getting messages from people. Got one from Kennedale, and we got one from the Longhorns. Huge win out at Elkfield. You did? You called that one? Huge win out at Elkfield out there. Was fantastic. I got to see most of that game before I had to go. Man, they just look dominant. They look really good, really good team. And I got a nice message from them. So here's what I will tell you. I will be out there. So this is the 1 week that I love because I don't get to go see all the games all the time. And a lot of time I have to see film and stuff like that. I will be out at every game. And if the league lets me, I know that I'm badged. I would love to congratulate the teams. I would love to get a picture with the team that wins the game, especially if you win the game and I don't pick you, because we will have a wrap-up show going into the All-Star game. After Thanksgiving, there will not be a show next Friday, just so all you guys don't have to text into the board and all that stuff. There won't be a show next Friday, but we will have a show right before the All-Star game and talk about some other stuff that are going to be coming up and going from there. And so just keep that in mind as far as that goes. But make sure that you're looking out for that. But so tomorrow, I'm excited because I get to see all the games. Yeah. I get to just be out there with them, and I'll tell you, I've got some picks that might surprise people today. I really do. I know a lot of people think it's going to be chalk, but I've got some picks that's gonna surprise people today. So we got people that are shouting out people. I want to try to get some of these in. Drew Green, 9U Longhorns, number 27. Ian Smith, 99, RYA Royals. We've got 7U Gators, number 4 Baker, number 9 Jameson on the O line. We got shout outs to the Elks. We got Cullen, number 8, 8U Frogs, number 12, Ewing, quarterback and defensive end. That's a tough kid. I've already got Lisa on, slept on 12U Kennedale all season long. You're going to find out. Now, Lisa, here's my question, because I asked this to Donnie and them.
Yeah.
Do I pick them this week?
They said, heck no.
Do I pick them this week?
They want to be the
and I run it? Right? I've
Yeah.
said all year I've respected the heck out of those 12U coaches from Kennedale, and every week they find a way to make it happen, and those athletes find a way to make it happen. And this week they went to town. And Granbury, they struggled. That was a game that man, I wish I could have seen that game out there. We're going to talk about that game, but now do I jump on the back? I feel like those Cowboy fans that when the Cowboys start winning, it's like they jump on the bandwagon. I always have this little petition I post every year on Facebook because I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. Yeah. And, you know, every year they make you feel good that you're going to actually see them in the Super Bowl. And so I always post that like, hey, check this out. Like, you know, you guys want to jump on the bandwagon. I kind of feel like that with me in Kennedale right now. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I might have to wear me some green out there tomorrow. I don't know. I might have to do it.
You wear green. Waxahachie folks will like it too.
You know, yeah, that's another team. I mean, you know, there's been a whole lot of talk about that Waxahachie 10U team. Let's just call it what it is, right? And y'all left no doubt. I mean, that wasn't, from what I understand, there was no doubt about that game.
No, I mean, they, well, I don't know if you want to talk about it now or later, but they're a good football team. And, and you know, they jumped on it first. We had a mishap on defense, and we made a correction, and 30 unscored after that. So,
man. And I know that the 10U Elks had a great game, and I'll be honest, that game was not as close as the first one either. That is setting up a massive showdown in 10U. And then, you know, we've got all kinds of stuff happening. I will tell you, the game that I'm most looking forward to is 9U. That the 10U game I like. I love the 12U game, but that 9U game, that Midlothian team has been rolling. But I'm telling you, that Longhorn team, man, they looked on another level. And I don't know if it was just, we talked about this last week, Mike, and I want to get your opinion on this before we get into the playoff talk. And I see all your shout outs. We are going to get to those guys as we go through there. But tell me what it's like. Tell me what you're telling your team right now, because the one thing that concerns me, and I said this about the Elks last week, of them playing, you know, a really good Lake Worth team. And congratulations. I want to say this for all the teams that made it to the championship round, for all the teams that made the playoffs. Congratulations. That is a massive accomplishment. The executive board at Northwest is proud. Your coaches are proud. Chris, I got your steak, man. I told you whenever you're ready. A lot of people are proud of you, but what are you telling your team this week? Because that's the one thing that worries me, is if a team gets up real big for a game to get there, and then they think, okay, we got this. You got one shot tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's it. So what are you telling your team as a coach?
So for me, you know, after Saturday, you know, that was a big game for us, especially with all the talk. You know, my kids hear it from their parents, or they watch the show after the fact. And so for us, it was just, hey, look, we got, you know, nice win, but let's put our heads down, go to work. We still got, you know, work to do. And then, you know, last night the message was, hey, you know, from the talk, you guys aren't supposed to be in this game, and you're here. And so now you still have something to prove. Let's go out and finish it. And we're going to play our style of football, and everything will work out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
No penalties, no mistakes. I told them the team with the most mistakes is going to lose.
That's true. That's true. I mean, at that 10U, 12U, you're starting to get into that competition range, that mistakes are key, and they're momentum swingers. They're emotional. I mean, we'll talk about that here in a few. Tomorrow's games, maybe not at the younger level, like for the parents at the younger level, they will be. But as you start getting into those 8U and 9U, they know what they're playing for tomorrow. I promise you, my boy Cash Money, if he's listening, he knows what he's playing for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like they know what this is, and it means a lot.
All week long, I've been telling my linemen, hey, if you get beat, you get beat. I'll take 1 yard, 3 yard loss. Do not hold. Do not get me a 10-yard penalty. That's what kills drives. Yeah. So, you know, that's been the other message to the guys up front. Don't hold. It's not worth the 10 yards. Just let them go. They make the play. They make the play.
Yeah, live to fight another play. No, it's good. And we got a lot of people. So we got Big Back Bones, 9U Bowling Longhorns, number 1 Wesley Bowling Longhorns, 8U RYA, 88 Braxton Barnes, top O-line and D-line in the league. Ooh, man, that's That's saying a lot. That is saying a lot there. Jaden, of course, is it Kasi, number 40, number 4 for the Mohawks, Izara, number 7, Longhorn, 7, you can't riddle, Gators, number 17, Jimmy Munoz Jr., 20, number 20 for the Longhorns, Schamberger, Cal Garcia, number 15, shout out to you.
That's awesome.
7U Gators, number 21, G2. Man, anybody goes by nickname G2. That's like Gatorade, right? Running back and cornerback. Tyler Mathis, REU, number 8, number 7, the quarterback. All 8U RYA dogs. We've got a lot of people talking themselves. We got Karen Carson. Carson Dennis, 5U Cowboys. There's my 5U people. Where y'all at? I can't wait to see y'all in the morning. Big Tucker Urban. I love me some Tucker. Number 7, 10U Elks. We got the 12U Kennedale boys. Gris says it's come a long way. You know, it's. I agree with you. They've come a long way, but that team's been winning all year. All year. Like they've been winning all year. 8U RYA, Bryson Schamberger, baby. We've got 4 Super Bowls are wow. Chris says 4 Super Bowls are coming back to SYA tomorrow.
I don't know about that.
Man. Eric Gomez says for you parents, keep them babies healthy. This flu and sick bugs going around right now. Praying for all the athletes. Absolutely, guys. Make sure that those kids make sure they're warm tomorrow. Right. Make sure that they're more warm tomorrow. Ari says, Cash knows. He said, thanks. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. Brandon says, hey, Mike, I want to give a shout out to the Super Bowl list. A lot of different organizations across the board. It's really nice to see multiple organizations Super Bowl. Yes, rather have our own in every age group out there. I agree. You know, when I looked at the back of that shirt,
I feel like we got to talk about the other league that's.
I mean, hey, it's after the whistle. There's nothing unturned. So have you looked at what their Super Bowl is?
Yeah, it's Brock Alito, Brock Alito.
Yeah.
I think Cleburne's the only team in there with, I think they're 10U or 9U. I can't remember, but it's mostly Brock and Alito. And I think I shared it on the band app. And I was like, well, you know, imagine that the 2 towns that are known for holding kids back have all the teams in the Super Bowl.
You know, here's Eric says YFA don't want these problems. Mike Cash Money said obviously. Here's what I'll say, you know, for this year and seeing both sides. You know, I love youth football, and I think there's a lot of good things that MIFA does, and there's been a lot of great things that Northwest has done. But from one side coming to the other, there was a whole lot of talk, and even talk from teams that came over here. You know, we've seen some of that chatter of, you know, wish we would have maybe stayed over there because the competition is not as good. Well, that has proven not to be the case this year.
No.
Because you know, just so everybody knows, so if you look at the back of this shirt here, if you look at the MIFA towns that came over, there's 1 or 2 of them in the Super Bowl. There's a whole lot of Northwest towns in the Super Bowl too. And I will just tell you where this, for you parents out there and for anybody that's listening that may not be part of the organization and wants to know why we're so high on it and what's going on, what I will tell you is this, is that number one, this season was put together in a flash with the number of new towns that joined. There, for everything that went on, and tomorrow for you guys to see this Super Bowl go off and for this all-star game to go off, if from my personal perspective of a business owner that runs businesses, there wasn't a whole lot of planning that got to take place with all of this.
No,
so it's been on the fly. And what that shows me is there's a lot of people that's involved in this, has been in youth sports a long time to be able to pull this off.
Right.
Now, I believe next year, Brandon says I went quiet. I can hear myself, so hopefully you can be. I am so, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse because it's Super Bowl Saturday, but I cannot wait for next year. I cannot wait for the 9-on-9 season. And if you guys don't know about 9-on-9, please make sure you ask your towns about it and get them participating. I want to shout out something for 9-on-9. If your kids are serious about playing football and getting better, don't miss 9-on-9. I can tell you personally, for my son, who's a linebacker and a lineman, 9-on-9 made all the difference in the world for him getting faster.
Yeah.
All the difference in the world.
And I think I think what people know, but the big difference between 7-on-7 and 9-on-9 is that the linemen get to participate. It's not just the skilled kids.
Yeah.
They're out there blocking. They're out there learning how to pass rush. You can run and throw. I mean, it's almost traditional football. There's straight up blocking. You can block to the ground. It's very physical, even though it's flag. it's just a great stepping stone to your season. If you're a coach and you got a new offense you want to put in, you got new plays you want to put in, 9-on-9 is where you need to do it.
Yeah, and you said something there for blocking. So as a person that my son moving on to junior high, he's worked with a private coach for a while. He does so many things outside of pads and blocking because he believes that physically it makes the kids better, to where when the pads come on, it's just it's just like a light bulb that happens. And I love the fact that you get to do those type of things. I do know, and hopefully I'm not spilling the beans here, but the league is meeting about whether that's going to be played on Sundays or potentially Fridays or Saturdays. That so there is a vote that could be coming for that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's in our, well, it's not in our bylaws because it's a different sport, but we've kind of done that as a gentleman's agreement as a board. So it's definitely up for conversation.
Good deal. And I know a lot of people have talked about that going from there. And so guys, please talk to your leagues, your towns. If they're not participating, ask them why.
Saginaw.
Yeah, Tim. I love
that's why.
The reality of it is that we should have a lot of these representatives inside of that. And look, I get it. There's other sports, basketball and baseball and stuff like that goes on. Kids are involved in that. But I know for us here in Burleson, we take it serious, but we know the kids that are playing baseball, and we kind of let that cart become, before that, like, hey, get them out here. We get it that there might be a practice they have to miss for we did 7-on-7 for 7-on-7 for baseball, because baseball right now is a priority. But find a way, if you can, to make it happen. Find a way that you can to make it happen.
One of my best players missed the playoffs, the playoff tournament last year, because they had a basketball tournament down in Houston. I mean, it happens. We get it.
Yep.
But he got a lot of work in out before that weekend. So
Tim's getting ripped right now. Eric says Mr. Tim's got explaining to do. Javier says can't beat SYA with 11, won't win with 9.
Oh,
I mean, listen, I like the confidence. I mean, that's we're gonna find out tomorrow. Chris says Eric, too much baseball. Get it? There's a lot of baseball and stuff that is going on as far as that goes. So, guys, I see the shout outs. I see Craigle, my man Craigle. One of the best running back fullbacks in the entire league, and linebacker. You'll get to get a lot of him tomorrow. I'm excited about that as far as that goes for there. It only took Ricky 24 minutes to join.
That's not bad.
He just posted, "I am here." I want to know how Ricky. What time are you getting out to the Super Bowl tomorrow? I want to know what time Ricky's getting out there tomorrow in his celebration, because he's kind of coming to the end. Like he's
done.
He's finished. He's retiring. Are you bringing the T-Bird out there tomorrow? That is what I want to know. If he's bringing the T-Bird out there.
You better bring some Thunderbird.
Chelsea says, told Tim that Chan said he'll stop baseball for 9-on-9. Man, well, it's getting thick in here. Ricky said he's not coming till 4. Oh, that's right. Ricky does have some stuff he said he has to do tomorrow. I remember him saying that. So we'll be there covering for him tomorrow. All right. Here we go.
Time to get after it.
It's time to get after it. I'm going to use our shirt here. We're going to start in 5U, and they play early. They're going to be cold, right? I mean, it's going to be pretty cold out there. But we've got Cooper, and we got Saginaw Dusky. I know who you got.
Yeah, I have to, right? I mean, not only is it my town, but that's one of my favorite coaches in our organization, and he's been with us for 6 out of our 7 seasons as a coach, and coach kids when his kids weren't playing, and he's starting over this year with his 5-year-old. So got a great coach over there.
So the way the season ended, Dusky had 317 points scored against, or 4, and then 76 points scored against. You had Cooper at 286, so offensively very, very similar. Both played 9 games. Cooper gave up 106 points. I looking at it, and I haven't seen the. Did they post the brackets yet on the Northwest page?
I'm not sure.
I do believe this will be the first Super Bowl that Saginaw brings home. I think Cooper's a good team, but here's the deal with this. The reality of it is that tomorrow morning is, what did you say, 30?
37 will be 9 a.m. It'll be 37 degrees.
Man,
the good news is no wind. It's like
no wind,
2 mile an hour all day.
Man, the reality of it is that when you look at it, it's that's going to play a factor.
Yeah,
It's going to play a factor in the game.
I can't speak to Saginaw. I don't know any of their players, but we got a player, Max Perez.
Okay.
He's special. If he hits the corner, he's gone. No one's catching him.
Ooh, there's a scouting report brought to you by Coach Mike himself. Ricky says it'll be a good game. I think I have to take Saginaw here, but I really see this game being like right there.
It'll be a good tight game.
I do. I see it right there.
It'll come down to who stops who late in the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be right there. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw Saginaw in there. They're going to get there first. They're going to get their first Super Bowl of the day. They're going to get those first set of rings out there. They're going to be shivering. They're going to be cold. But I'm going to take Saginaw. Here we go. Kelvin says, shout out to all the teams that made the championship. All about the kids. You're right. Right here, first win of the day. We're going to them Cowboys. Now, please don't let me down like my Dallas Cowboys did against the Packers. SYA. Please, 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 please don't do that. Don't let me down. All right. Ferris, are you ready? Are you ready, Ferris? 6U.
It won't even be a game.
I don't know in flag football if I've ever seen a team this good. Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, I mean, 0 points given up, even in the playoffs. I mean, that's special.
That's dominating.
Yeah,
like that's dominating. Now, to Ferris King's point, they told me that they were coming and that they were going to do what they needed to do, and they've had a tremendous year. I mean, the 169 points scored. They've given up 92. I'm curious what the coaches have.
They had to put up half of that to beat these guys.
Yeah. And the last time they played, it was 44-0.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious. I'm curious what they're going to do, but I just don't see this being a game. I think this is the easily the blowout game of the day.
Yeah. Then these kids have been together since they were 4.
Yeah.
And this is their third trip to the Super Bowl. They won it last year.
Yeah.
No surprise for us.
Yeah, I like that. I'm really curious to see what they do when the pads get on next year.
Yeah, I think that first game they might struggle a little bit, but it won't. They got good coaches. It won't take long.
Won't take them long.
Yeah.
I think Waxahachie gets their first Super Bowl that early in the morning. I think they get their first one. Got some shout outs here. Lauren says, I'm sure we're at 8 p.m. The 8 p.m. Game is the 12U game. So if you're 12U, that's where you're at. Jessica says Snacks is going to stop everyone. Let's go Carson Snacks Dennis. Shout out to all the teams. SWA, Cowboys. Guys, we've only made it through 5U and 6U. When we get back, we're going to hit the rest of them, and we're going to give you our Super Bowl predictions. Make sure you're getting out there tomorrow. We'll be right back after break.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
I'm not sure what's happening in the comments, but we've got like people talking about a sobriety group and everything, like in the 2 minutes that we had a commercial break. So I'm going to go through and read those as much as I can, but let me get this advertisement. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas on the live 24/7 TuneIn Radio Network. Go to tuneinjoco.com is where you can listen and watch. The station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. Just simply search joco.com or Joco Radio in your store to check out our lineups and more. This episode is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844-TEXTEL. And also, it's be sure to dress your arms and more at the TIFF.com. That's Tiffy. That's THETIFFIE.com. And also Versus Sportswear. We'll be out there, Super Bowl shirts. Tomorrow also we're going to have some sample baseball uniforms and football uniforms. For all you parents, we're going to have our all-star uniform that we're submitting to bid for next year. So this won't be this year. So let me just get that out of the way for anybody that comes and asks questions like, no, that's not this year's. Those uniforms, I believe, are here, and you'll get to see those tomorrow. Those look great as well. But we made up some samples for Northwest for people to come by and touch and see. Stop by the table and see us, please, tomorrow. Let us know. We'll have a little bit of Versus stuff out there, some Super Bowl shirts out there. We're excited to get out and meet with you guys. All right, so let's see what happened that we got. We've got all of this stuff going on with a sobriety check here. Cody Barber says 8YU R.Y. Smith, the new Super Bowl champions for the win. We've got John replying to Cody Man, both typing at the same time. We've got something about barbecue. Are we having barbecue tomorrow?
I hope so.
Woo, that'd be good on a nice cold day. Gator 7U will win an OT game, and that Nathan says this. Gator 7U will win in overtime. RYA 8U will win in overtime. Sean's dropping in live. And then Parker says, I don't see the brackets anywhere. I'm not sure where they're posted. Ricky, of course, Ricky's the one to talk about sobriety. Ricky says this is the perfect group to have a sobriety commercial. James, it's
drive us to drinking for sure.
Yeah, for sure. James says 8U Super Bowl is most definitely the game of the week. That 10U game is pretty good. 9U will be the game to watch. I agree that 9U game is really good from what I've ever seen. Eric says my Super Bowl predictions: 5U SYA, 6U Waxahachie, 7U SYA, 8U. I mean, is it even a surprise? RYA, 9U Midlothian, 10U BBGC, and 12U Kennedale. Ooh, Nathan says brisket will be served tomorrow. Bro, I better have me a brisket sandwich at 9 a.m. in the morning because it's going to be cold. And then Chris says, really, Eric Anthony, really, bro, you got 8U and 9U wrong. I mean, we got people making their own predictions. What I love about this is that they get to stick on there. So we're going
forever.
We're going to 7U. To me, I think this has the opportunity to be the closest game of the day. Here's the reason why. We've got the Elks in Dixon playing SY Baker. Now, they played early. I think it was week 4 they played in the season, maybe week 5. I do know that the Elks had lost a player to injury, I believe, right before that game. So he didn't play and they didn't have a lot of adjustments. I'm not sure if Saginaw had anyone out, but that game was a 12-8 win by the Elks. I seen that game, and man, that was just a back and forth between the tackles. Nobody could really do anything. That's a good game tomorrow for 7U. Once again, what do you think? About 11 kickoff time? Do you think that about the right time?
For 8U?
7U.
7U is going to be 9, 10, 11:30.
11:30ish.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit warmer. It'll be a little bit warmer, that game. Brandon, I see your pick. I'm going to save that so I can get Mike's reaction here in a second. He made a pretty bold pick for the 10U game. I have watched this Dixon team play all year long, and they've always found a way to win. They're a tough, gritty group. He makes a lot of good coaching adjustments there. I've always said it's hard to beat a team twice.
That will absolutely be key tomorrow, is which coach can make adjustments on the fly.
Yeah. I'm going with my boy Dixon tomorrow. Call me a homer, call me what you want. I think this is the Elks first Super Bowl. So I just want you to keep in mind, if Mike's predictions are right, Mike's locks, which by the way, for the season have been like well over 80% correct. Right now we have 3 different Super Bowl champions for 3 different organizations, and people want to talk about competition. Are you kidding me? Like, we have 3 different champions from 3 different organizations, and even if the picks are wrong, the only way that as long as the Elks win, we're going to have 3 different champions from three different I mean, like, yeah, it's crazy. The parity is crazy in this. Becky says 7U is at noon. Thank you. I see Becky is on our board, and Becky is the queen of making sure that if we're off by a little short measure, she fixes us.
There you go.
Like, she's
gotta have a Becky in every
she is
organization.
the best to have when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So shout out to Becky and her kids that are playing on that 7U team. And then her oldest son, Paxton, got to play with me. Love that family and everything they do for our organization. So shout out to those guys. Chris says, Eric Anthony, salty about a Pee-wee game. Get over yourself. What is happening here? Goodness gracious. And let me just say this, parents. I get it that a lot of you guys may be thinking, oh, this is our last game and we can go out there and act a fool. It won't be tolerated tomorrow.
Nope.
Okay. It won't be tolerated.
It will carry over.
It'll carry over. And I would be willing to bet, I'll tell you, the refs that we had out at Burleson this past week, unfortunately, we had a small issue and they took care of it pretty quickly, but they didn't hesitate, right? I mean, and I would assume the Super Bowl will be even tighter when it comes to that. They're not going to hesitate. They're not going to let you distract them. And I would just tell you, parents, don't distract your kids with that, right? Don't distract the coaches, because whether you may be right, okay, and you've seen something that you saw, if you distract the kids and then the next play they go up and give a touchdown because you're arguing about offsides or you're arguing about a holding call or something like that. And look, don't get me wrong, feel free to voice your opinion, but do it tactfully, right? Refs get that. They know that. They know that that's going to happen. But voice it tactfully. Don't get yourself to another level. Don't be yelling out they're getting paid. They are getting paid. They're getting paid by Northwest. They just like they get paid on Friday nights by the high school. And a lot of them are getting paid today out there doing referee games. Shout out to Centennial, who last I checked has a lead right now, second round of the playoffs. But they're getting paid, but they're not getting paid to slight for one organization or another. At the end of the day, I promise you, when they walk off that field, they probably don't even remember who won the game, nor do they care.
I make my living off of youth sports, and I run, 50 to 60 umpires a weekend. They don't care. They don't care who wins. They care more about doing a good job so they keep getting asked to come back.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what it is. And trust me, if you guys have a problem, make sure it's known to your town rep or the director on duty. You'll see those guys wearing big old yellow shirts tomorrow. You'll make sure that that's known. And I promise you, every week I see the communication. That's where Felt comes in and this executive board comes in. It is evaluated. I promise you it is addressed. So enough about that. We got Super Bowl talk. And man, dude, it is getting like crazy on here right now. We've got Eric says salty. And he says LIG still mom's still mad, but y'all losing tomorrow, but congratulations on making it. Vanessa says, replying to Shelby Jordan, 44-0 to be exact. I'm not sure who the 44-0 is on there. Tristan Lee says, Tim, Eric, Anthony Gomez, that's my husband for you. So we got husband and wife on here going. We got 7U Gators. We'll bring home the second Super Bowl for SYA tomorrow. Chris, you want to double or nothing on the steak dinner on that? I got you on that if you want to. We've got Charlotte says 8U and Angelo, Miami cheerleading you all the way from the East Tennessee, the Royals for the W tomorrow. And that is true, guys. Make sure you're giving some support. And I didn't say this last week, and I usually am pretty good about it. Make sure you're supporting those cheerleaders that are out there too. Absolutely. Man, they are just as much a part of this organization and their teams. Guys, trust me, they got a job to do. And I can tell you just from our cheer coaches and what I see, they work hard.
Very hard.
They work very hard out there. They're going to be cold tomorrow. So when they're sitting there going, let's go defense or let's go offense, they're not doing that just so you can look at them and say, oh, how cute. They want you to yell with them.
Yep.
They want you to clap with them. They want you to stomp your feet with them. They do it. Get behind them. I mean, guys, get behind these kids, right? For sure. Get behind those cheerleaders. And then Mandy says Eric Anthony Gomez. That's what y'all said last week. I mean, we've got like RYA going to town right now. And then Mandy Terraporter, we respect Waxahachie as a whole, and we're good with friendly talk back and forth. He says we're not salty in the least bit. Our kids had a good season. Good luck tomorrow in the Super Bowl, and everybody did. Everybody had a great season. Like it was good. All right, here we go. We're going to move on to the 8U bracket. So in our 8U, we've got SYA and RYA. Here's my deal with this 8U bracket. Since he's come in here,
you got to know something about that 8U Saginaw team too. So,
what do you have insider information?
Yeah, I mean, that's a salty group. They've been in it every single year. I mean, that's a good group.
So Cash Money's my boy now.
Yeah,
I can't go against Cash Money.
No,
I can't. RYA salty, and they've got I don't know what his number is, but a Centennial 31-7 in the fourth. Let's go Spartans. They got a very, 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 very good football player on their team.
If I remember correctly, that group showed up at my place last year for the Super Bowl in a limousine or a party bus or something.
RYA did?
No.
Oh,
Saginaw.
Saginaw. Tim, are you coming in a limo tomorrow? Because I will change my pick right now. If you,
and then whoever's at the gate better not let them in with that confetti crap because it took us hours to pick that junk up.
Yeah. Speaking of which, guys, tomorrow for Ferris, let me just throw this in and we'll get right back on it. Guys, we have to take care of that field tomorrow. No outside food or drink. I'm assuming you're saying no confetti, no nothing like that for the field.
No smoke.
No
confetti,
smoke.
Water only on the field.
Water only on the field. So don't bring it in. Don't do it. Please don't cost the organization money. Please don't cost the organization money going from there. All right. So Chris says 8U will be the third Super Bowl for SYA. Don't know about that. We got RYA being shout out here. I think this will be a close game because both teams have good athletes. But I think because even what you said with how well coached that SYA team is, and they've just been together longer.
I mean, they won it last year. I mean, it's one of those deals where it's hard to pick against a team that's in it every year and keeps winning it.
And they've been here before. They know what it's going to take tomorrow. Alex says the Royal D is about to have some fun. David says it's going to be an upset for them Frogs. James says 8U. So I'm taking Saginaw to win this game. I think it when I say close, I think they win by a touchdown, but I could see it going back and forth, and there's going to be some emotional swings that RYA team's good where they're gonna be in that game, right?
Yeah.
And a fumble or turnover could change that.
I'm gonna go the other direction. I'm gonna say that it'll be close until middle of third, and
I'm being asked who the SYA head coach is. That's the $1 million question.
I think it's Bagari by name, but I think we all know who runs that show.
Yeah, so I'm going with him. I'm going my boy Cash Money. You hear me? Don't let me down tomorrow, Cash Money. I need to be undefeated with my picks. Don't let me down tomorrow, Cash Money. I know he won't. No pressure like that, man. You go out there and have a fun game tomorrow, Cash. All right, we're moving to 9U. This is my game of the day.
And I'll tell you, I'm very this is tough because I know both of these coaches very well. I've coached against both of them over the years. The Midlothian coach, if you let him, will outcoach you. But I played against the Saginaw team. The first year we were in Northwest, they beat us 2-0. We came back and beat them in the semifinals. The next year we played them, we beat them 8-0 late in the fourth quarter on an almost pick six. We were 10 yards out. We punched it in on the next play. Very tough team, very physical team. but Midlothian's going to be very well coached, very disciplined. So it's going to be a game.
So I agree with you on there. We got a whole kinds of people that are just to follow up on these comments from the 8U game. People saying that this 8U team has only been together for a short period of time for their first year, and it was a close game the first time. I did not see the first game the first time. Eric says some say Tim, some say Mike for the coach. Holly says boo. Don't hate me, Holly. I'm just trying to make some good picks here. Dim's 8U Saginaw are a good team, is what Gris says. So, guys, I think, moving on to 9U, we're going to have a great game in 8U. Here's my thing on 9U. That Longhorn team really, 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 really opened up my eyes. But I got to tell you a little bit about this Robinson team. So, number one, I know Kerry, who's the defensive coach on that team. I know him pretty well. And this is a team that has been together for a little while as well. They're good. They are a very good team.
From my understanding, they caught a little bit of luck last week.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard that. And sometimes you need luck in the playoffs, right?
Very true.
Especially and you kind of took the words right out of my mouth, especially with a team like that I bet they rolled into the playoffs expecting to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like you get into a dogfight of a game, which, listen, I firmly that kind of believe happened with the Elks team. Right. They came in very confident that they were going to take care of business. They've been a great team all year long. And SYA showed up and punched them right in the mouth. And it took them a little bit to respond. And unfortunately, it was too late. And I'm worried that may happen tomorrow. That what I seen out of that SYA team, they were different, and I'd seen them before. Actually, I seen them a couple weeks before. I believe it was RYA that they played when we played at RYA. I seen them play before with RYA, and that was a very dogfight of a game. Like they were, nobody could really move. It was just, and they pulled that game out. This didn't look like that team. This team did not look like them. Their offensive line was blowing holes open left and right. Their defense was flying to the ball, tackling everyone.
I'm
man.
gonna tell you just from experience, up front, that Saginaw 9U team is probably the nastiest group of linemen there are.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if Saginaw, number 2 he's got speed, but if that kid had 3 more inches on him and 10 more pounds, they'd be really hard to beat.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there. So let's see what we got here. So we've got picks coming in online. I'm trying to get to there. All right, so we got the Longhorns, Tim. We've got Holly saying, "Come on, Langford, tell them." We've got Javier says couldn't score on Waxahachie. 9U Longhorns take this. Longhorns SYA. We've got Ricky. That's talking obviously about Midlow out there. We got a lot of picks coming in for long. Where are my Midlow people at, man? Got a lot of picks coming in. Jason says about time. I'm not sure if that's to me or to you or somebody else on here. And Brandon says you say Longhorn, we strike. So I guess they don't want me to pick the Longhorns here because I've picked against them. Danny says they didn't know what hit them. You're right, Danny. If you're talking about that Elk game, that's for sure. We got SYA Cowboys here. We got Holly says everybody's wearing orange tomorrow. Here's where I'm at on this game. Make sure we got time. We got 2 big ones to get to. My gut tells me that Midlothian had a wake-up call last week with the scare. And they were a good enough team to overcome it. They jumped over to that next barrier. That Saginaw team, I felt like a spark went off with them. That they kind of knew that they were a good team. Their coaches had got them up for it, but they dominated. Got to call it what it is. I'm taking Saginaw to win this one. I think this is an upset of the number 1 seed. I think if Midlothian, and now the 2 coaches from Midlothian, Kerry and the head coach Robinson, are really good.
Chris is probably one of the best in the game.
That is what leads me to man, he's gonna have those guys ready. My fear, and here's my caveat for Midlothian: if Midlothian comes out and gets out early, I think they break Saginaw. But if Midlothian gets hit in the mouth again, I think panic's gonna happen. And that's where Coach Robinson and Coach Carey, I don't know what they're going to do with their team if they're facing a second week in a row. This SYA team is a really good team. And they, you see it happen all the time. What was it? The San Francisco 49ers last year in the NFL, like, what they were 6th seed and they got in and it just clicked.
Yeah.
And not comparing you guys to the 49ers here. So no parents send me like, oh, my baby's going to play for San Francisco. Not saying that. What I'm saying is that it reminded me of that when I seen them. It was like, okay, this team is a playoff ready team. So I'm taking them. This is my upset pick of the day. I'm taking them. I can't wait for this game. Now, Midlow Robinson, I will be the first there on site and will gladly eat crow right in front of you. Ricky, you got my word on it, man. I will be out there. And matter of fact, if it was a hot day, I'd offer to buy everybody popsicles out there if they win. But I'm taking it. That's who I'm taking.
Yeah, Chris, I love you. We talk a lot. I got a lot of respect for you. I don't see it going your way Saturday. No.
So you got me with upset. All right. So it makes me feel a little bit better because this game, man, I went all the way. I went back and forth because I know those two coaches over there and they're very, very good. And those kids are good. That's a great football team. I feel like that they're going to, I feel like that, and I could be wrong. I feel like that's going to be, I got
to give a shout out to our Waxahachie's 9U Cedillos. I mean, I'm heartbroken. I coached those kids for 2 years. We were paying attention via text, and I thought they had it. And one little mistake cost them, or else they'd be in this game.
Yeah. They and that's this game, this 9U game, Mike, I believe can happen. That's what's going to happen in this game. I don't think this is a runaway for either team. I don't. It's going to be one mistake in the playoffs in a cold weather game. I take the bigger offensive line every time. That's just my nature. And that offensive line is nasty. Yeah. They are good in a good way, kids, if you're listening, in a very, very, very good way. Ricky says, Langford, I'm blocking you on Facebook. All right. So we got SYA all the way. Longhorns quarterback. Holly says it's cute as heck. I'm with you on that, Holly. I'm assuming that's your son. I think he's a heck of a football player. I'll go with you on that. Jason says that's what happened last week. Longhorns #1. Nick says let's go Horns. Amy says the Longhorns are ready for some action. They're way too stoked for the Super Bowl game, and we're hungry for a win. AYE 9U bringing the heat. We've got a lot of people just shouting out here. Still going to play like you don't pick us, Nick said. So I guess he doesn't like my pick. Let's go number 44 Bones on there. So great. It's a great game. All right, here we go. 10U. I was wrong last week. I picked against you guys. Well, y'all dominated.
I was wrong too. So
you
kind of.
Well, I mean,
I said 36-0. 36 points were scored. But.
Yeah, it wasn't 36-0. You got a good Burleson team you're playing. I know you're not going to share all your coaching thoughts, but what are your thoughts about that team?
I think they rely on misdirection. But I've always thought that about Burleson teams. You guys kind of run the same offense top to bottom. Very, very familiar with this offense. Played you guys in the past league. Brazos Valley. So we're very familiar. I think we got a solid game plan. We'll just see what happens.
So where I've been on 10U all year long with the Elks.
Yeah.
I last week, and I didn't get to see all of their game, but that Lake Worth team, I was really worried about when Lake Worth came to town. That wasn't much to be worried about.
I'll be honest. I told my coaches this, and I'm probably going to get some flack for it, but I like our matchup versus the Oaks. I wasn't sure if we matched up well with Lake Worth.
Okay. That's good. That's
just because they do some things offensively that we don't necessarily like. So I like this matchup. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be who can keep one team on one side of the field. And
so people are disagreeing with you here, and I got to give time to 12U. We've got BBG is going to shut them out. There was one prediction earlier, 44-0. Now Chris says Langford will have his boys ready. Jesse says 10U Mohawks. Cherry says 10U Elks all the way. For the sake of time, I'm going to make my pick here. I've been on Burleson all year long. I cannot come off of them. And I'm going to say it. I respect you as a coach. I think this is over by halftime.
Not even close.
Double or nothing on the Big Red.
Sure.
All right, I got it. I got 30-0 Elks by halftime.
You said that last week too.
I did for you guys, but what they did against the that Lake Worth team, I think they're ready to go. I know you guys are hungry.
It's not even that. Just defensively, we're way better than that Lake Worth squad.
Yeah, for sure. Nathan says, I'm going, Mike. Not many coaches can leave the Super Bowl team and take another team group to the Super Bowl next year. Must be doing something right. And that is true. What a lot of people don't understand about this guy sitting across from me, he left one successful team and went and took another team in the Super Bowl. And so let's please make sure we all understand that. And look, I will be the first to be out on that field with that Waxahachie team eating crow because I will be there for that game. You guys pull off the upset. All right, here we go. We got 2 minutes for 12U. Where are my Wildcats at? Eric says the 10U Elks are built different. Where are they at? Where are my Wildcats at? All year long, I have been against you. I've said that I felt like your team has struggled, although I have praised your coaches all year long. And you got big bad Granbury this weekend. I can't pick who you win the game. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. I got to go with Granbury. I can't do it.
That's cool. I'm going to take Kennedale's going to out-athlete them straight up.
No.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
I know Granbury's got a couple of kids, but I think that Kennedale's team's stout top to bottom.
They are. They are a very good team. I've played them both. And I think the Kennedale coaches, we hung in there very tight with Kennedale. They only scored on us twice, and both were like 4th and longs. And they did athlete us. Their guys, great coaching call, swing pass over to the right, bam, right down the sideline. We missed 2 tackles and gone. And you cannot miss tackles on that Kennedale team. I'm going to tell you right now, Granbury, you miss tackles, you're in trouble.
Well, it's hard to coach speed, and they got it.
They do. I love the coaches at Kennedale. They're going to be ready. But this Darren Rice Granbury team has been together for a very long time, and they're coming in to prove it. I do think this game is close. I don't think this is some blowout game. I think this is going to be an awesome ending game for Northwest, but I believe Granbury gets their one and only Super Bowl title in Northwest, and it's going to be the 12U game to end it all off in the cold under the lights. Y'all better be out there Saturday. Be out there Saturday. Even if you're not playing, bring your kids out there. Come support your towns. We love you guys. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Good luck.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio. At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs.